May kakaibang recipe ako gagawin ngayon na dapat niyong subukan. Very simple, but surely very delicious as well.
Simpol, luto na,
So, nagpapakulo na ako ng tubig dito kasi gagawa tayo ng sinigang na sugpo sa pakwan. Oh, bago yan. And this one is, hindi lang siya ordinaryong water, kundi hugas bigas. So, yung bago tayo magsaing, di ba? Nugasan natin yung bigas. Yung pangalawang hugas, at pangatlong hugas, tinabi natin para gagawin natin base natin sa bawa para mas may konting body siya. Okay? So, what do we do first? While our water is boiling, ilalagay na natin yung ating aromatics. Kasi yung sugpo, pag nilagay natin, in a few minutes, luto na siya kaagad. So, we simmer our aromatics ahead of time, onions. Ito kasi siya, yung gusto natin, na maging malasa na yung kanyang broth even before the prawns are put para well-infused na ng flavor yung ating broth bago natin ilagay yung sugpo. Kasi sobrang bilis maluto ng sugpo natin. So, yung gamit natin dito ay sustainably caught prawn. So, ito, medyo malalaki to siya. So, this is around 28 to 30 pieces sa 1 kilo. So, we're using around 7 pieces. This is barely half a kilo. So, we let that simmer along with our radish. Ito, labanos. So, this cooks very quickly. So, we just let it simmer. Let it cook para malasa na yung ating broth even before we start cooking. Lalagyan ko na siya ng sili para may konting spiciness. So, hantayin natin na medyo lumambot yung ating tomatoes at ilalagay ko na rin yung aking pakwan. Because we want the pakwan to cook para maging red yung ating soup. So, yung ginawa ko, inuna ko na yung pakwan para maluto siya at madurog siya. Kasi if not, kung kakain tayo ng slightly cooked na pakwan, medyo slimy siya. So, what you want here is to get the color and the sweetness of the pakwan without having to bite into a cooked piece of pakwan. We're cooking that, so we allow that to cook for around 3 minutes until maging tender siya along with the onions, the tomatoes, and the radish. So, our broth has already simmered. So, medyo gumaganda yung kulay natin. And we just season with a little bit of salt muna. Primary seasoning, we will season more later. Just salt to bring out the flavor of the watermelon. And now, our broth is ready. Taste ko lang ng konti yung broth if it is salty enough. Yan, just taste a little. Lumabas na yung lasa ng ating pakwan. And we add our vegetables. Sabay na yung vegetables natin and our prawns kasi mabilis maluto sila pareho. So, we're using talong, sitaw, and okra. And to devein our prawns, we don't have to peel it or open up the backside. We just have to use a barbecue stick or toothpick and scoop out the vein from between the shell. So, you just pull it out and you're done. So, you can use any parang gulay na pangsigang. So, parang siyang karaniwang sinigang na yung ginagawa natin. And we add our prawns. Look at that. Beautiful, sustainably farmed prawns from the sustainable grocer. And we cover it up and let it cook for 3 minutes. And let's check on our soup. Look at that, it's so beautiful. The prawns are already cooked. So, in less than 3 minutes, our prawns are cooked and we just finish to season with some patis or fish sauce. Yan, para ma-achieve natin yung fishiness, no, na gusto natin. And we add our kangkong. And to add the sourness that we want for our sinigang, we add our calamansi. So, we're using fresh calamansi juice for this. And we just wait for our vegetables to cook and we're done. Very beautiful. Yan. Put our vegetables. Sobrang sarap ng kanyang sourness, but there's also the sweetness coming from the pakwan. So try this at home. You might like it, but I like it personally. Sinigang na sugpo sa pakwan, Simpol! Nagustuhan niyo ba ang video na to? Please share para lalong dumaming ating mga kasimpol. And don't forget to subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram accounts.